Hello, every binary, and welcome to Monsterhearts 2, Ebon Carnival's Sideshow. We have four new players stepping into the carnival scene, each one taking the spotlight in their own special way. I am Ferret, also Sawyer. I really don't care which name you call me. I'm the creator of Skin Deep and hopefully soon the Reskins project. This is my setting. Ebon Carnival, a take on the Last Unicorn's Carnival with Monsterhearts 2. Um, I am going to now allow my wonderful players to introduce themselves and their takes on the characters of Ebon Carnival. Starting in character keeper order, Alexi, would you like to start? Okay. We have been having some problems tonight. Alexi may not be able to join us. If this happens, their character will be coming back next week, we hope. But in the meantime, next, Stephen, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Sure. I'm Stephen, live in Washington, D.C., and I'm playing Cecilia the Harpy, who is the embittered, cynical. She's sort of in a management role at the carnival, and she just has the attitude of if she can't be happy, nobody can, and she makes everyone's life miserable.
Thank you very much. Daryl, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Sure. Hi, my name is Gerald, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a huge Monsterhearts fanboy, and I can't wait to play this game. I'm really excited. I will be playing Rodney, whose pronouns are also he, him. He is the Minotaur, which is from the reskins that Ferret is working on. He is a third generation Chinese American, and his look is that he is a bodybuilder. He's incredibly strong and incredibly stacked. But all of that belies his lonely eyes, which, are just looking for someone to care for him. His origin is that he is a demi-human, and he is actually he's a little bit of an orphan character. He's been with the circus for a while, and he knows that people at the circus use him for the sheer force of his strength, but he uses that to his advantage, and he's also one of the few people who just really intricately understands the ins and outs of the labyrinthine setup of the carnival. So that's one thing. He's interested to see what kind of changes some of the other characters intend to bring to the carnival, but is still desperately looking to make sure that there's a place for him in whatever future comes out of it.
Thank you very much. And Jesse, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, I am Jesse, pronouns he, him, and I'm playing Sammy, pronouns they, them. Sammy is the witch. Their look is lithe, and the image I have here is sort of David Bowie as the Thin White Duke, but maybe 10 years younger. Thin and angular, and in sort of vests and blousy white shirts, and the occasional blazer. Their eyes are calculating, and their origin is awoken. Think they have become attuned to the emanations of the divine that are present in the world, and they draw on them for their power. Sammy has been hurt in the past, and they're sort of slow to trust and make friends. They've hitched their wagon to Arden the Unicorn, who unfortunately is not around at the moment, which makes them nervous, as they don't necessarily yet feel like they have a friend in the carnival. but they're hopeful that Arden can help pull them in and create a home and a family out of this place for more than just themselves, but everybody else too.
Thank you very much. I think we're going to go around again and do strings real fast since we have the characters set up. Feel free to leave an option open for Arden, and feel free, I believe, to take one on Arden if you think it'll make sense, and we'll run it by him next game. If it doesn't, we can change it. But Cecilia, will you read us your backstories?
All right. Well, I'm supposed to take 2 strings on my favorite victim, and I think that will be Arden. I think Arden really gets on my nerves and is also vulnerable to me because they are so new at the carnival, and I'm the one who can sort of order them around and assign them the worst jobs. And I publicly embarrassed a powerful enemy and they're itching for revenge. I think that was Rodney. I think I think shortly after Arden arrived, I goaded Rodney into losing his temper when dealing with a couple of townies who were just sort of acting up a little bit, and he sort of entered his darkest self. He sort of lost control a bit and beat them up badly. So he looked really bad in front of Arden right when they were starting to get close. I mean, like I deliberately did that to drive a wedge between them. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds really
Okay,
good to me.
Yeah. Okay, so each of us takes 1 string on the other.
Okay.
Thank you. And Rodney, read your backstory, and we may need to change the second one or alter it a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to alter that second one. And so the first one is, I'm someone's go-to for muscle. Give them 3 strings on me. I think that makes sense for it to be Cecilia, since she does have the kind of a managerial position at the carnival. And it fits very much into the kind of framework that we've already established.
Okay.
And then, so I'd like to amend that to just be like, maybe I bullied someone. And
yeah, like when I say beat up, I also intend it to be verbal. It's like it does not need to be a physical altercation.
Okay. Yeah. So, Jesse, if you're okay with it, I think that it probably makes sense for like Rodney to probably have been like mean to Sammy, specifically just because he thinks that they're weird. Like he thinks that they're into all this like like new agey shit, and it's just like, what's wrong with them? Why are they like that?
Yeah, no, I think that makes a ton of sense.
Okay. So that means that you take 1 string on me. Wait, no. No, I take a string on you. Yes, I take 1 string on you.
Yes. Okay. And Sammy, the fun witch's backstory. You're muted, Jesse.
So you start the game with 2 sympathetic tokens. Decide whose and what they are. So one is going to be something of Arden's that I think he has given me as a gift. I'm not sure what that is. I think I'd rather like hold off on deciding that until Arden's here. I think just to like have that conversation would be good. We can do it over chat or whatever during the week, so that can be resolved. And then the second person I think is going to be Rodney. And I think this is like very much a revenge insurance move on my part. Like what are things you care about, Rodney?
So Rodney probably has like, so there's actually probably like a cash clip that was like one of the first things that he bought for himself, and that's recently gone missing. So it's important to him because it signified his like independence and him making his own way in the world.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, we'll make it that. And then the other thing is, I think that the next piece of backstory is, while the others cut you rummaging through their friend's stuff but hasn't said anything, I think that has to be Cecilia. I think Cecilia saw me going for that, looking for something for a token from Rodney, which I imagine, and I can think of lots of reasons why she might have decided to keep that quiet for a little bit, something she can use later.
Yeah, just leverage. Yeah, and I'm thinking when you took the clip, I bet you left the money. Is that right?
Oh, yes. Or I think I was conflicted about it. I think like I was worried just taking the clip would be more suspicious.
Okay.
But also what I wanted was the clip, and I felt like robbing Rodney was not
Right.
my goal here. But I was also pretty pissed off. I I think I took some of the money. It was like a weird,
Okay.
but left some up.
Okay. That seems very.
Cecilia, you have a string on me for that.
Okay.
Yeah. That seems like a good spread. This is already quite sinister again. I think I'll use that word. Now I'm going to ask us the questions about Haven. These are going to be in no particular order. I just wrote them as they came to me. But for the NPCs, Sammy, you had to erase your and Arden's tracks when you were coming into Haven. You bumped into someone while doing this. Who are they, and how did that meeting go?
So they are. Question just about for your intention with this question. Is this like intended to be someone not affiliated with the circus, or can it be anybody?
This is someone in Haven, so not affiliated with the carnival.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is Danielle Evans, the town librarian. And I think it went like kind of uncomfortably. She's got that. She's of that like good old fashioned New England stock that like doesn't pry into other people's business overtly. But it's clear that she saw, like, we made eye contact. She saw something was going on. And instead chose to be kind of polite. And pretend like nothing weird was happening. But, not that these two people were like clearly trying to cover their tracks somehow. But word's gonna get around town. Just because she didn't say anything to us doesn't mean that she's not saying anything to anybody else.
Exactly. And if I can add like a bit of like maybe you were doing a bit of magic too, and it was like just a bit of that twinkle in her eye.
Yeah.
Okay, this is already starting off well. Rodney, you have someone in Haven who doesn't seem afraid of you. Not only that, they actually seem to be able to stand you quite a bit. Who are they, and how does this make you feel?
So his name is Jackson Sorrentino. And so he is he's actually like a mechanic. And he kind of is like a bit of a loner. And I met him at a bar that I went into because, I'm young, but I look older, so I don't get carded, and I'm also, bigger than the bouncers, so that's the thing. And whereas like everybody else was kind of just intimidated by me instantly, he like came up and like palled around and stuff like that. And so, after work or whenever I get a chance, I'll head down to that bar and go hang out with him, and maybe have developed something of a little crush, perhaps.
That's good. And this is Monsterhearts. Of course, there's no crush. Of course not. And Cecilia, someone in Haven took personal offense to something you did, even if it wasn't aimed at them. Who are they, and how have they made their displeasure known?
Hmm. And I think it is Betsy Harker. She is she is someone that I went to school with in town for a little while before I joined up the with the carnival. And I think she is offended that I stopped going to school, that I dropped out of school, and I've cut myself off from the town.
And how does she let this be known?
I mean, I mean, she used to come visit me at the carnival and try to persuade me to go back to school, but they I mean, lately she's sort of she's been organizing sort of she's been spreading rumors about the carnival that there's something suspicious going on there, and that it's not it's not a healthy place. So she's sort of blackening the carnival's reputation in town. It's like somebody should look into this.
Gotcha. Makes sense and seems very likely too. Okay. Now for a few places in Haven. Yeah, Cecilia. There's some place in Haven that reminds you of better times. What is this place, and what about it recently changed for the worse?
Um, there's there's a park in the center of the town with with a small island that it just like had a cluster of trees on it, and the only way to get out there was by a boat. And if you went out there, you could find this small cave, and it reminded me of where my family lived, sort of outside of town, up on the mountain, up on the mountains. This more lonely place, away from everybody. It's this place I went to be alone. And recently they've built a bridge to the island, and they've cut down some of the trees, and they've put up picnic tables there.
Ooh, that's quite nice. I like it. Um, Sammy, There's a place here where you can just be yourself and no one gives you any side eye or weird questions. Where is this place and what is threatening to shut it down?
Um, so I have an idea, but it might be like a little bit too setting like creating. So I just want to make sure that you're cool with it. So I'm thinking that, especially based on some of the description that we just heard from Cecilia, that Haven is kind of like a seaside town, like up north towards the New Hampshire border, like right where there's like a lot of hills and mountains that lead down towards the coast. And like it may have at like I think there's maybe like a boardwalk there that like got at one time got a little bit of tourist traffic and then kept it going, but lately it's just kind of been like a very local haunt and dying. And the place that I hang out there is kind of like this old style, this like seaside like ice cream place that has a couple of employees that were cool with me. And I think the thing that's actually at the moment threatening to put this place out of business is the carnival. Because there's not like, yeah, we're only going to be here a little while, but this whole little like boardwalk thing was teetering on the edge of collapse as it was. And like a few weeks of some other kind of entertainment in town.
I will correct you just a little bit. The Carnival is a part of Haven. It has not
Oh,
traveled for a long time, but I definitely can see this as being such a small town that they are competing for resources.
all right. Actually, in that case, also we don't need some of that other. But I misunderstood that. That's even better. So it's not like, I mean, it is still kind of a vacation town, but it's just like now no longer enough of one to like support both the carnival and the boardwalk.
Yeah, like to me, like and like Haven is ours to shape. It's not just mine. It's like
Mhm.
I named it, but Haven to me is like the last gasp of the Bohemian Golden Age. Like this place was the place of freaks, geeks, and uniques, and now
Great.
they're older and their kids don't like their stories as much, and things are running down, and it, people still have the grand memories, but who will remember those memories?
That's perfect. So I think there used to be room for both the boardwalk and the carnival.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there just isn't anymore. And that's part of the decline.
Oh, that is so bittersweet and beautiful. Thank you.
And like I actually have found like a home on the boardwalk a little bit as Arden is like trying to like I like this, yeah, to sort of like turn over the carnival into something new.
Yeah. And Rodney, you know all about Haven High School, but where's the School of Hard Knocks? What place in Haven has a dangerous reputation, and what about it makes you feel at home?
So there is a all right. So that bar that I mentioned earlier is actually located on a straightaway that is at the edge of town, not too far from the carnival, but not so close that it would deter people from coming over to the carnival. And it's called probably like Serpent Way or something like that, some like really on the nose name. And the thing about Serpent Way is that it is unfortunately actually just a place where generationally like economically underserved have lived. And so it's not even necessarily that it has a bad reputation because bad things happen there. It's just the poor part of town. And it's the place where, you know, like if you're from there, you get made fun of. And like you're kind of just like treated worse because you're from there. And as a result of that, like, you know, some of the places that are there, like the bar and things like that, they're long-standing, but they have reputations for being seedy joints because it's the people who, you know, live in that area who go there.
Ooh. Yeah, I can see that. That seems very like this. And the final round, I think, before we take a small break, parents, relatives, things of that nature. But Rodney, who raised you, and are they still around?
So I think that actually I came to the circus with my older brother, Kenneth, and we stayed for a while, and I thought we were like building a life together, but then like I woke up one day and he just disappeared, and so I never knew what happened to him. He's been gone for a little while. You know, I always hope that one day he'll come back, but I don't know. I'm starting to make my life without him. We'll see what happens.
Ooh. Sammy, why'd you throw in with Arden? And do you think your parents are worrying about you?
I think let's start with the second one. I don't think about my parents very much. It's not when I do, I'm sure they're concerned and wondering where I am, but I feel very disconnected from them. I think there's and I don't think it was like it was not like it was not a situation where there was like abuse or like neglect in like a formal sense, but I think that like Sammy's parents were the kind of like progressive cliche where there was like a certain kind of benign neglect taking place. Like Sammy was taken care of and loved in as much as they were capable of doing that, but there was also like this very like clear sense of detachment. They were more interested in other parts of their lives, and like Sammy was sort of left to their own devices. And so they became very independent and just don't spend a lot of time thinking about their parents. And so when all the other shit in their life, in my life, kind of got worse and worse and worse, it didn't even occur to me to turn to them for like support. They would have said all the right things and it wouldn't have mattered. And I ran into Arden and a little bit fell in love with him. I don't know that I knew what to do with that exactly, and I'm not sure. I'm legitimately not sure. I think this is something that we should sort of like figure out and play, and I wouldn't want to impose on Alexi without talking it out first. It's not clear to me how sexual that love is. Right, I think that's something that we can kind of figure out. But like Arden seemed like my way out. He has so many ideas. He's so full of hope and joy. And so when he offered to take me with him, I jumped.
Makes sense. And it makes sense in that teenager emotional kind of rationale.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions that people have for the setting? Anything else they would like to add? Or anything they would like to know that they don't feel like they know right now?
Well, you didn't ask me a question about my families.
Oh, right. Sorry. I I got so wrapped up in that.
Yes.
Um, Cecilia, same question as Rodney. Who raised you, and are they still around?
I was raised by my parents, but not in Haven. I was brought up. They lived in a very tiny community in Vermont, and they were taught me, no, you just stay away from outsiders. You'll never fit in. And I sort of rebelled and came to Haven, and I stayed with Betsy Harker's family. She's sort of a distant cousin who promised to look after me, and I really didn't fit in at the school. And
Ooh.
that's how I ended up at the carnival, but where with the freaks, I felt like this is the best I can do, and this is sort of one of the reasons I kind of resent Arden is because I see my youthful dreams in her, and it's like, no, this is not going to end well. You're going to be crushed just like I was crushed.
Ooh, I like this. And sorry for jumping over you. Uh, okay, now I reiterate. Is there anything else that I may have missed or people feel like they would like to know? If not, I think we can come back at the top of the hour and have sort of like a session point five with everyone. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. See you guys at the top of the hour. I realized I did forget one thing. In the tab called The Grounds, you will be allowed to choose which trailer is yours. You may share it with someone if you like, but they are kind of cramped. And we can decide the grounds as we go on. I've placed like the big show tent and Mother Tribute's tent up, but the grounds are quite large by several acres. There are a few rides, a few places to go in and about. As stated before, Rodney knows this place in and out. The rest of you may have some troubles.
I'm kind of assuming I share a trailer with Arden, but that's also something that we should talk about when the time comes. So
Yeah. You can claim a trailer, and if, like, we'll see, ask Alexi if Arden wants to share it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cecilia will take one of the corner trailers.
Okay.
Oh. I was thinking in terms of classroom. I realized what would the least desirable trailer location be?
Oh, probably the very top, like near the edge of like near the edge of the carnival where it's not really upkept very well, and
Yeah, that's definitely where Sammy's at.
A question I've got is, are the trailers like as they're seen in this grid, like relatively, like are they actually to the left of the carnival itself, or is it just kind of like the trailers are somewhere else around the grounds?
the trailers would technically be in the back of the carnival, like away from the parking lot. Like the way I meant, like if this was like, north is back, they would be at north. But it's just like they're as far away from Haven as possible. Okay, and we will. I like to start by asking if anyone wants to frame a scene. If they do not or do not know where to start, I'm fine giving a few hard frame prompts.
I think that, maybe a scene between Rodney and Cecilia, like to maybe discuss some sort of problem that might have popped up recently.
Ooh. That sounds quite good to me. How about you, Cecilia?
Okay, all right. Does anybody have a particular problem in mind?
I think Rodney, do you want me to set like a small location for you to meet, or do you, since the carnival is sort of my creation?
So I was thinking, especially if you wanted to like throw a problem at us, that would be great. And
Okay,
then,
I thought you were talking about Arden and Sammy.
oh, I mean, I assume they're already the problem we're dealing with.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, I know exactly. Okay, you guys are in the gravel parking lot. This is very Ren Fair feeling. The sun is just coasting over, like out from behind some clouds. It's maybe close to 8 o'clock in the morning, and you would be setting up the carnival, but make sure I have this name perfectly correct. It's Betsy Harker, and she has several people with her, all with, some with some picket signs, no signs with any clever writing or limericks on them. But everything, the general thing of a carnival is unsafe. People have rights, and Sideshow is a no-go. just different bits. And she has this. She doesn't have a megaphone, but she has like one of those voice amplifiers. It's sort of basically just a cup with a amplifier at the end, and it's just, what do we want? Haven Carnival free. Why do we want it? And just, basically because they're saying that the sideshow is putting people putting people on display for ways that they shouldn't be. That the rides are unsafe, the foods are unhealthy. It's just a blight on Haven. What are you two doing?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Betsy Harker with just venom in my eyes, and I'm glancing at Rodney, and I'm saying, you need to be subtle. This problem, we need to get rid of these people, but not openly.
And I'm just like, but we've got permits. We can deny access to anybody in this parking lot. Why don't I just kick them out?
Rodney, dear Rodney, don't you see? That's what they want. They want us to use violence. They want to paint us as villains.
But
even if we have the law on our side, we can't afford to just throw them out.
But can you imagine the look on that old broad's face if I tossed her to the curb? She would never.
I'm not saying you can't hurt anyone, dear Rodney. I'm just saying, not where there are witnesses, not in the light of day. I mean, when these people, when these people go home, when somebody is out walking their dog after dark, if something should happen to them, to frighten them, to scare them.
Well, I think
that could not be blamed on the carnival.
It would be a great tragedy.
Yes, it would merely be an unfortunate circumstance.
Certainly wouldn't have happened if they were at the carnival, enjoying a happy, healthy night.
Oh yes, at the carnival we keep everyone safe. It is not us who brings crime to Haven. It is the disorderly elements of Haven who bring crime to the carnival.
I'm going to ask for an MC prod. Cecilia, are you tempting Rodney into this course of action through lawyerese?
Yes, I'm definitely tempting Rodney to take some action which can in no way blow back on me.
So, Rodney, I think that activates one of your moves.
Indeed it does. It's my red flag. And instead of marking experience when I am successfully tempted, I can choose from the following list. Take one ongoing towards doing what I was asked, mark experience, remove a condition, or gain the condition enraged. I don't think it makes sense for enraged just yet. It's a little too early in the game. But I think that I'll probably put that +1 forward to good use.
I think you will too. And you guys are having your conspiratorial conversation, and Hank, the game's manager, comes lurching out, and he looks like everyone's stereotypical trailer park carny, just dirty enough that you think he probably hasn't changed clothing for about 3 days, maybe 2 if you're being generous. He smells like Axe body spray and Febreze mixed together like some kind of horrific sorority fraternity combination. And it doesn't even coat the dirt ditch weed he has been smoking. And you can tell by his eyes that he has been smoking quite a lot. And he has a cigarette in his mouth. He pulls a deep drag as he looks at those got people staying outside the parking lot. Shit. What'd we do to them, you guys?
Some people are just spiteful.
Oh, I recognize that guy. He lost $50 trying to win a stuffed horse.
Well, maybe he just needs to practice a little bit more.
Yeah, sure he does. Mother Tribute's not going to like this.
I'm not afraid of. I'm not afraid of her disapproval. We are doing the best we can.
She's not going to be angry at y'all. But maybe a few of those people out there.
Oh, I think she'll. I think she'll be pleased if at what happens to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling that there is bad fortune in their futures. It's just as a fortune teller, I'm sure Madame Tribute understands bad fortune.
Don't need to be a fortune teller to know what's going to happen to them.
Yes.
And Hank looks up at Rodney and up because Hank's a short dude. He's travel sized. He's like, oh, looks confused a bit. Oh, I'm gonna go get some coffee. This is killing my buzz. And is there anything else we want from this scene, or should we move on to something more scenic? Okay. Sammy, I'm going to ask you a question to set a scene. What basic grunt work have they gotten you to do this morning?
I am shoveling shit. Quite literally shoveling shit. There's we got some horses, we got some ponies, we got some donkey here or there. I don't know if we have anything more exotic.
We have a small pride of lions, but they're not out and about.
So someone's got to clean up their shit, and I have been asked to do that.
Oh, poor Sam. I believe that Vikram is like you're shoveling stuff around, and like there is like this one place to put it, which is near the freaks tent for the show, near enough that you're walking by it pretty much every time you take a load, like a wheelbarrow full.
Mm-hmm.
And you look inside, and you see Vikram setting up these very intricate looking, like, testing the nails on one of the bedded nails, checking out the swords he has, and just you see one like rust on it, and he curses and takes it away, and I think he turns and sees you and can smell you, but he doesn't look. He's like he motions for you to come inside.
I sort of like I put down the wheelbarrow, take off my gloves, sort of pull one of those, those like little pocket packets of Kleenex that they have, which are just like, I don't have a towel, I don't have a cloth, I just have this little like pocket packet of Kleenex with maybe 3 Kleenex left in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull 1 or 2 of those out and like try to like ineffectively wipe my face off with it. And then I sort of like holding this crumpled up Kleenex in my hand, I put the one remaining one in that little plastic thing into my pocket, and I walk in.
And he looks at your face and he pulls out this elegant looking handkerchief. It's like, there's no snot on this. If you feel you need it, go ahead.
You sure? It looks a little nice. There's, I've been shoveling the animal waste.
I can smell, dear. And he looks confused, like, how should I address you?
Sammy's good.
Okay. You're new to the carnival, aren't you? You came a few nights ago?
Yeah, and I'm like, he's still like hanging that handkerchief there, and I haven't reached out for it yet. I say, yeah, I came in with Arden a couple nights back, and Mother Tribute's been kind enough to give us a place here, so long as we can make ourselves useful. So I'm trying to make myself useful.
Yes, I hear she's testing the boy's prophetic abilities. I've always considered her act just that, but maybe I was wrong. I'm not going to take it back, Sammy. When you've been in this business as long as I have, a bit of shit doesn't bother you.
Sort of shrug and say, thanks. What should I call you? As I'm like mopping off my face.
And he strikes this, pose that you can just sort of imagine on stage. I am Vikram, the legendary pain yogi of the Ebon Carnival.
Sammy like gives him a quizzical kind of look. Like to hear those legends sometime.
You should come by the show and see them. And he's like been leaning on this rusted sword like it's a cane a bit, and he's like, I normally can swallow up to 8. There'll only be 7 tonight.
Everything all right?
You're new. I don't need to bother you.
It's no bother. I'm here trying to be helpful. I'm trying to be helpful.
The carnival has been going through some trying times. Haven is changing. And it's almost like the magic is dying, that the imagination seems to be on screens these days, on phones, on computers, on movie reels. People don't want to go to the theater, go to this. We're not. We used to bring people in from all over America, I hear, and now we're doubling and tripling up in our trailers.
And I look at him almost with like a kind of sad shock. I say, but there's magic everywhere. Every place that you look, every place you breathe, you feel, you can't. It's hard to touch, but it's there. What do you mean it's going away? I've only just found it, and it's like really. Tim, I'm getting very flustered here. Like that sort of like hit me in a funny place.
And you see he's kind of sad hearing you talk. It's like, you have the vigor of youth. When I came to Haven, when I joined the Ebon Carnival, I was young and Haven was sprawling. There were shops you could not imagine. I hear there was a place that just painted the nails of cats and dogs, and one time a ferret, but I don't think they did the ferret again. And we could go down the street and go to the diner and not be harassed, and we were welcomed as people who helped the town, and now we're seen as a drain, a luxury that can't be maintained. And I don't know where a lot of us will go if that goes away.
But that's what the magic is for. You can show them. We can show them who we are and prove to them that we should be welcomed. I don't understand, Mr. Vikram.
It's not that we can't show them, but can we make them care?
Who wouldn't care about magic?
He grins. It's like, I may be getting maudlin. I apologize. You seem invested. I can see why Mother Tribute brought you. If Arden is a fraction as interested as you are in the carnival, we may have a future yet. But I am down to 7 swords tonight. This one is rusted, and I cannot imbibe rust.
May
I
I
will.
may I have it? Maybe I can clean it up for you. I can get it polished and shined.
If you believe so. He hands the sword over, and it's like, it is. It will be hard. The store in Haven that sold the polish I used shut down last year.
I'll see what I can do.
And I think you now have a sympathetic token on Vikram.
That's what I was asking for.
And he I think he like reaches into his pocket and pulls out this voucher for like a free like jumbo fried Oreos, fried Snickers, carnival food kind of fair thing. He's like, go see Rhonda later today. This'll get you in her good graces.
Remind me who Rhonda who
Rhonda is
who's
Rhonda is an NPC who runs the deep frying station in the carnival.
great. Thank you.
And he grins like, if anyone believes in magic, it's Rhonda. And I think that feels like a good place to end it.
That scene for sure.
Does anyone want to frame anything again, or maybe meet a character they have not met yet?
I would kind of like, if we're ready for the scene. If we're not, it's fine. But I would kind of like to find myself present when Rodney is teaching those protesters a lesson.
Ooh. Yeah, and Rodney, you're going to wait until they go home and start doing homey things, I assume, correct?
Right. I think it's probably like late at night.
Like after the evening show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe you were heading to like the last hour of solace and you saw Rodney walking down the street and decided to follow him?
Yeah, I think it was even like, I think maybe I was going to go out to Solace for and I saw Rodney leaving the carnival in a direction that didn't quite make sense to me.
And do you want to be with Rodney like as he's doing, or like walk in on him doing it?
So I think I would like to be trailing Rodney, and I think if Rodney sees a moment that he wants to notice me, I'm fine with that. But I think at first certainly I'm concealed.
Gotcha.
Or if there ends up being a role that fails, that could also be a.
I will ask, Rodney, how are you looking for people that are following you, Rodney?
No, it's I feel like it's pretty late at night, and for a small town, it's likely that like everything's like already asleep. Because I'm thinking this is probably like 1 or 2 in the morning or something like that. I mean, maybe that's too late for a soda shop to still be open, but yeah.
I think they have to stay open late to attract as many customers as they can. And some people get off shifts, go before third shift, after second. So yeah, you're Rodney, you're heading deeper into Haven. Is there a specific person you're going after? Are you going after Becky or maybe a friend of hers?
So I happen to know that the neighborhood that she lives in, there's like a cul-de-sac that's she's off the cul-de-sac, she's not on it, but I think that it's close enough to send a message. So
Ooh. And may I ask, do you have a plan?
oh yeah, I've got a pocket full of some stones that I have spent all day collecting. They're the perfect size and shape that I'll be able to lob them wherever I want with some incredible accuracy.
Okay. So, Rodney, you're walking at night. It's a calm but kind of desolate feeling. It's almost like what you would imagine walking at high midnight would be at a ghost town. And there are signs that Haven used to be a more eccentric place, a more weird, like the old sweaters for toddlers and pets shop just closed down a month ago, and you know, Tots and Cats has not been completely demolished. As you walk by, uh, there's this like the only Waffle House in Massachusetts for some reason is still open, but there's only one waitress who is like by this pot of coffee, and she doesn't even look up as you walk past because no one goes to the Waffle House this late at night. And you and Sammy, you're trailing behind. I feel like you're good at sort of hiding your tracks. So Rodney's not catching sight of you. What do you feel about the town as you're seeing these different places shut down?
I don't think I get it. Like I think Rodney and not Rodney, Arden and I have been spending a lot of time sort of in a lot of these kind of like interstitial towns between the coast and like central Mass and southern Vermont and New Hampshire, like that whole kind of region. And like at this point it's like a little bit of the scenery of my life, and I don't think, as that conversation with Vikram kind of shows, I don't think I quite get yet what makes Haven different.
Understood. So, Rodney, you make it to the neighborhood, the kind of neighborhood you never really were welcomed at, the kind that you've probably not seen very much of. But you know your target. You've you know Haven enough that you know who lives here. What do you do?
Yeah. So I'm walking down the street and I'm like tossing a handful of stones up and down, and I'm probably whistling some like circus song like "My Sweetheart's the Man in the Moon" or something like that. And then as I kind of like round the corner into this cul-de-sac, I like look around and I see like the street lamps, and then I just really carefully and quickly lob these rocks at the street lamps and like take them out so that it goes dark in the place. And then as I continue walking around, I size up the windows in these various houses, and Sammy could definitely tell that I am about to smash some windows in.
So I'm gonna have to ask Sammy, what do you do?
This lovable lunk of a loose cannon. So yeah, so I think now I'm a little bit wishing I'd taken illusions instead of watching, but I still think watching is good for Sammy, for this version of Sammy. I think I decide. I'm trying to decide if Sammy's brave. I'm brave enough to approach Rodney under these circumstances.
Do you feel you might need to keep your cool?
Yeah, I think that might be it. I think I'm like afraid of what might happen here, afraid that Rodney might hurt me if he finds me, and afraid that Rodney might bring the cops down on us, which might be even worse.
Ooh, that is good.
So I guess like the thing I am most afraid of is the cops coming. If that's what I'm choosing here.
That is perfectly okay.
I am rolling with cold. My cold is -1. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. I think it should be 0. Sorry, I think I may have set that stat wrong. I just want to double check.
It should be hot 1, dark 2, the other 2 -1.
Oh, so that's what it is. Yes, so that I made dark -2 by mistake. That's what it was, not positive 2.
Gotcha.
Great. I knew just like something didn't quite make sense there. Great. Okay. Let's roll. And that is a 5.
Okay, so I'm gonna, before anything bad happens to this scene, I'm gonna ask Rodney, what did you do that is amazing, but a bit too far? If that's okay.
Yeah, that's so I think what it is it does this kind of like, like he's still whistling that song and he's kind of like, just dancing down the street. And then as he kind of like whips around at the different points of the song, he starts flinging these rocks through the windows of these various different houses. And then like all of a sudden it's just this cacophony of like like shattering glass and like animals like barking in the night. And then he kind of like continues to like swagger down the cul-de-sac. And then there's like a really nice car, like one of those collector's cars that's just sitting in the driveway. And then he just jumps up on it and puts his foot straight through the windshield of it, and then hops down and turns around and starts walking out.
Oh, and Sammy, this was really cool to watch in a very cathartic manner. But the lights and sirens that are coming really quickly let you know that this might not be the best place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodney, you notice as you're walking back, this interesting looking neophyte to the carnival near the bushes, kind of behind a street lamp you took out.
And I swagger over and I look down at Sammy and I'm just like, well, if isn't the loser from Eastwick, what are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing, but what the fuck? What?
Some people have got to learn a lesson, and I am the best teacher.
What did they learn from this except to call the cops on us?
Well, they won't know it's us. And I mean, if they had come to
They
the
don't know.
carnival tonight,
If they don't know it's us, then what did they learn?
that this place is already pretty dangerous, and it doesn't matter if the carnival's here or not.
Oh. And like I just I wonder, I mean, are you shutting me down there?
No, I think I'm probably like using this as an attempt to show off. So if anything, it's like I'm puffing myself up, and it's probably a turn, like a oblique turn on.
Got it. Okay. I mean,
That sounds perfect to me. Roll to be a bad boy.
yeah, I'm definitely willing to roll that. Oh, sorry, he's rolling.
Let's see what happens. So that's a 10.
Okay.
So you
It's been a
have
few weeks. Let me look at the choices. I think I'm going to promise you something I think you want. I was like kind of surprised to be impressed by this. And what do I think you want?
an alibi, maybe?
That's a good idea. I'm like, so I say, all right. Let me, like, very flustered and like clearly trying to come up both by my reaction to you and also by everything that's happening around me and feeling like a bit of a bad boy thrill just from the situation, which I was not expecting. And I say, all right. When the cops come to talk to us, we were somewhere else, right? We were shooting craps in my trailer. Or playing Yahtzee. Yeah. No, they won't believe we were playing Yahtzee in my trailer.
No one's going to believe I was playing Yahtzee, but that sounds like a convincing enough bad lie that it might just work.
You don't like Yahtzee?
How old are you?
I'm 17.
And I think I'm going to probably ask Rodney, since you know the location a bit better than Sammy, would you like to run away from the cops before they come?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I reach down and grab Sammy by the hand and I say, "All right, let's go play some Yahtzee."
And this definitely is your +1 ongoing with this, because you're teaching them a lesson, and the lesson is don't fuck with the carnival, because we can find you and you can't find us, except
Yeah.
for the carnival.
And I've also got a +2 on volatile, so I think we'll be pretty good. Yeah, that's like a 13, so.
Yeah. So, Sammy, you found more than you bargained for, and the carnival bad boy whisks you away to safety. I think the scene ends with the Rodney taking Sammy's hand, them running around, and Rodney taking this corner just as the cop car turns. The light hits the place where they turn down. They're nowhere to be seen, and it pans back to the suburbs. There's this woman coming out, her mailbox just completely shattered, and she just throws her hands up in the air. And I think we definitely need a scene with Cecilia now. And do we want to have one that was going on at this time, as Rodney was going out doing something, or just skip some time and have Cecilia doing something else?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe after word gets to the carnival about this incident, Mother Tribute calls me into her trailer.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Mother Tribute, Cecilia, you're walking towards Mother Tribute's trailer, which, there is a small trailer park where most people stay, and, at the very outskirts is this really nice Airstream trailer, bigger than the others, still shiny, still chrome, very Mad Max Fury Road without the spikes. And uh, Hank is coming outside, coming out of the trailer. He looks pretty liquored up, and Mother Tribute has this weird thing for him. Maybe because he brings in money, maybe because his failure's funny. He could just be a jester, but no one quite knows why she likes Hank that much. And he doesn't even notice you're there as you're walking by. He just completely walks by plastered. You get to the steps of Mother Tribute's trailer. Do you knock? Do you walk right in?
Yeah, I think I knock, and then I walk in without waiting.
Yes, and Mother Tribute is sitting at this pull down table. She has a you can tell she's finishing off Hank's glass of wine as there's one right in front of her. She's just sort of getting the last few drops. Oh, Cecilia, it's good to see you. I'm glad you came.
Thank you, Mother. I'm grateful to be here.
I hear there was an issue this morning at the carnival. A few people said they walked past some protesters.
Yes, yes. Some rowdy townsfolk. I felt it was best to leave them alone for now.
And she slowly pushes this flyer across the table towards you, like motioning for you to come and sit down. And the flyer is like a People Against Carnival's pack. It's a simple acronym. It's stupid, and they even have like a knockoff Pac-Man as their mascot for the moment, which you know they're going to get sued over. And she's like taps this like, we can't have this, you know.
Yes, but we can't deal with this too directly. I mean, we can't simply throw them off our property.
No. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like, no, we can't. You're a smart girl. I have foreseen something. Fire, terror, images of shock and awe coming to me. And she sort of like puts her hand to her forehead like she's about to swoon. I do hope that these people are not the bringers of such destruction.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so too. It would be so terrible if misfortune were to befall anyone in this town. But what will be will be. How can we prevent it?
Oh, I was worried about the carnival. If I'm certain that you have your ways to make sure these people learn their lesson about coming
Oh,
upon our grounds without paying the price.
oh yes. I'm sure that this will be a brief enthusiasm, and they will be soon discouraged. Children these days are so flighty.
It does seem like she's shooting for extra credit for some kind of elective for college, don't you think?
Yes, yes, and I honestly think that she doesn't realize what what is in what's involved in protesting, how much it takes out of oneself. I'm sure that when she realizes the cost of her efforts, she will soon give way.
And Mother Tribute like it stands up, goes to this bit of cabinet, pulls out another wine flute, the clean one, comes over, puts it in front of you, and then holds out the bottle like as if she's asking if you'd like some.
And yeah, and I think I nod like a little hesitantly because I'm still young enough that I haven't really drunk much.
Yeah.
This is like a rare honor.
Yeah, and this is from her personal stash.
Yeah.
This is some aged good stuff, and she smiles like, when you drink of this, think of what may happen, what could happen if you would. And I think I'm going to like you can use this as a narrative option to sort of like think about it, or this could be a good time to roll a gaze into the abyss about your target at what they're feeling this moment.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll think of Betsy Harker and gaze into the abyss. Is that rolling with dark? I think.
That is rolling with dark, and
Okay.
I think you have a move that could play off of this depending on how it goes.
Right. Right. That is a 7. Yeah. So I carry one plus 1 forward to my next attempt to shut her down.
Yes, and you get this, like, you remember when Mother Tribute said, like, flashes of shock, terror, and awe, and
Yeah.
you feel this sort of like the same flashes, like the alcohol goes down your throat, it burns inside, and the burning turns to this flash of anger, then shock, then a bit of denial and fear. And you close your eyes and you like reach up to your necklace, your throat, as if you were clutching a necklace. And you can feel the sweet taste of uncertainty.
Yeah. I mean, I think I shudder a little bit, and I open my eyes and my hand is shaking a little bit as I put the glass down.
It is good stuff. I think it is a fine vintage for you to try.
Thank you
You
for
go ahead, sorry.
yeah. Thank you, Mother. This is an interesting experience.
And she goes silent for a little bit, and then she's looking down at her own glass, spinning it around. You can tell from like when you had your feelings, like her glass has gotten a bit emptier, and then her eyes dart up and look at you. You know you're the closest thing to a daughter I have, right?
That is kind of you, Mother. I I look on you as the teacher that my own parents never were.
Your parents didn't realize what greatness they brought into this world, Cecilia. I happen to know it.
They were afraid. You you have courage.
I certainly do. And one day, when you're the death of me, you will control the carnival.
I would never hurt you, Mother.
Not on purpose, dear. But we know, as much as you take care of this place, there's collateral every now and again. I'm old. I don't fear it.
No. No, you can't.
Don't worry. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But with those new arrivals, destiny comes ever closer.
Should should we get rid of them?
And
They
she,
seem
oh, sorry, she looks like really haughty. It's like, no. They bring what we need to this carnival. We should not get rid of them, but we should prepare.
I don't want you to be in any danger, Mother. If these people are a danger, then
The world is a dangerous place, Cecilia. I did not mean to excite you so.
I will keep you safe, Mother. I promise it.
She smiles, and she like holds out her hand, and there's like several pieces of gaudy jewelry, and she pulls off this ring with this star sapphire on it and hands it over to you. You're better than many people will ever know, Cecilia.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Mother. Like I, I mean, I take the ring and I put it on my finger, but I think later when I get to my trailer, I get a string and I wear it I wear it around my neck, concealed underneath my clothing.
Yeah, and I'm sure she this meeting ends pretty soon, most likely. Like she
Yeah.
tells you to go finish your night duties and do your rounds, and I think if everyone's fine with it for the final scene, maybe Cecilia runs into Rodney and Sammy coming back to the carnival.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you're heading back to like you just finished checking on like the animal trainers and the big circus, like the final bit for the night, and you're heading back to the trailers, and you see Rodney come out of the woods with Sammy trailing behind him, holding hands. Is there any laughter or joviality in your escape, Rodney and Sammy?
I'm pretty sure I'm like, all laughs, like having a great old time.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to seem like I'm having a great old time. Like my laughter is maybe like a little bit high pitched and forced, but it is there. But you can also see like almost like as we cross over onto the carnival grounds from the forest, like I can see like I almost visibly relax a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I think I approach you, and like I put my hand on Rodney's cheek, and oh, have you been for a walk?
And I look down at you and I smile and I was like, well, we were, but it seems something terrible happened somewhere, and we thought it was best to come back straight away.
There were sirens, there were cops. It was a ways away. We were not near there, but the cops don't like us very much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know my dear Rodney would never be involved in any trouble. He is very discreet. Are you discreet, Sammy? Can we trust you? You're so new to the carnival.
Ooh,
You understand?
Is that a shutdown?
I don't think I'm shutting him. I don't think I'm trying to shut him down. I think I'm sort of. I want him to promise to be quiet. It's like, can we trust you to be discreet? Do you understand that in this carnival we trust each other, Sammy?
I look back and forth between Rodney and Cecile or Cecilia?
Cecilia.
Between Rodney and Cecilia, like clearly not like I'm getting that there's something here, but I don't know what it is, and I'm kind of like looking to Rodney for like an indication of what's wanted from me.
And Rodney doesn't say anything, but like he's standing behind Cecilia, so she can't see him, and so he's just like thumbs up, wink, wink, and then like strangles like kind of thing.
Yeah, Sammy does not understand what that is a reference to, but is very comfortable saying, "Yeah, I mean, of course you can trust me. Like, you could. Yeah, I'm discreet."
Good. And she smiles. And I imagine you two didn't walk very far. You were probably here the whole evening. You might have, if anyone asks, you were here the whole evening.
Yeah. We were playing Yahtzee in my trailer for a little bit, and then we went for Yahtzee. Yeah. It was made in a yacht. That's why it has that name. Anyway, we were playing Yahtzee, and we went for a little walk because it was such a nice night.
Yes, but not in the direction of town.
Just in the woods here.
Yeah.
We heard the sirens and we came right back.
Yes. The town. It's a lovely town, but it can be so dangerous at night. There are
Yeah.
such bad elements there.
Isn't that just what that lady was saying this morning? It's like, like it's a real criminal element here, and it's a good thing that we have safe places like the carnival.
Yeah, the carnival brings so much joy to places, to this town. I can't imagine what Haven would be like without us here.
I
They are
I
so lucky.
I certainly feel safe here, and that's very sincere.
Oh,
I certainly feel
oh
safe here.
yes, oh yes. You should. After all, we protect each other.
Um,
And I just smile menacingly.
and now I feel a little bit less safe. You can see Sammy kind of like shrinking back a little bit from that menacing smile.
And I think that like Rodney like is very quickly getting bored with like how many times we can repeat a metaphor. So he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna go see if I can get that tightrope walker to come play some Yahtzee with me. So I'll see y'all later.
Good night.
Good night.
Um, I think as Rodney's walking away, I want to ask Cecilia, like, what was I think it's gonna be like frank about it. What was that about?
Cecilia just looks at it, that she sort of sighs. It's like sometimes the carnival has to do things to protect itself. You understand that, don't you, Sammy?
Yeah, I mean, I've had to protect myself a time or two. The
So
world is not a safe place.
yeah, yeah. So when that happens, we stick together. That's all. And it's best not to be too explicit about these things sometimes. It's all right. Just don't say anything to anybody, and it will be all right. You can do that, Sammy, can't you?
Sure, Cecilia, I can do that. And then I walk away to tell everything that happened to Arden.
That is wonderful. It's close to the top of the hour. I think it's a good time for another break. How about everyone?
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's be back 5 after.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just in case there is any extra noise, I have been joined by our special guest today. There was this wonderful, tense moment in one of my worldwide wrestling games where the boss was coming out for a match or to like say something about a match. Like she comes out and says, yeah, I jumped right on my shoulder and me onto the microphone. It was perfect timing.
I'm just saying, I don't have pets, and so I love living vicariously through the cats of the Gauntlet. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, Dusty has been a good Apocalypse cat, a good Monsterhearts cat. He's being a good Dream Askew cat so far.
Mm-hmm. One of my great regrets is that my dog refuses to appear on camera during games. You will occasionally see the very tip of her nose as I scratch her underneath her neck to try and get her to put her whole face on camera. She just won't do it.
Did you see our guest, Jesse?
Yes, I did. I saw Dusty just as I was getting my headphones on.
Good. Okay. I think I have a scene I would like, but as always, I will defer to anyone else who has a scene they would prefer, if they do. Okay. I think in the morning it is what people would have expected. Like, the carnival wakes up early, even for it. Pretty much, the sun's not up yet, and there are some colors coming from way, way across the way in the parking lot. Red and blue. And several people are lining up. There are cops coming to interview people. And no one's being arrested. No one's being like lined up to be like taken in or to be handcuffed. But people are being questioned, and Mother Tribute comes out of her trailer, looking sort of imperious, as imperious as one can in a bathrobe with hair curlers in. It was just, what is going on? What is the meaning of this? And one of the cops, of course, mentions that like there was an attack on the suburbs. A neighborhood had some vandalizing going on that had protested the carnival. And Haven High's science lab had a Molotov cocktail lobbed through the window last night. Not near the same time, but it looks like there was a trail of destruction, and the person is talking about like we have to check with the carnival. You guys were protested, and this happened immediately after. It seems a bit suspicious, and I think you were all present and can overhear this conversation. It's not being kept terribly under wraps. What are your characters' reactions to hearing that? Not, I'm assuming that the suburban incident is shocking, but the school seems surprising too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about the school, so I'm wondering if anybody at the carnival took action on their own. But it could be useful, because if we didn't do that, maybe we can cast blame on whoever in town did,
Oh,
if they're caught.
quite good. And Rodney, this seems like a large bit of demolition that had gone on. Do you feel jealous that it wasn't you?
I mean, I'm a little torn because, there's one thing to go and smash some windows up in a suburb, but like blowing up a school building is kind of a big deal. Like that's a little bit, it's big time stuff even for me.
It wasn't completely blown up. It's just a good portion of it is very badly charged. There was some chemical reactions. Nothing major. No lives lost.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, wow, like, here I was thinking I was pulling out all the stops, and then I was just the opening act.
Sort of the feeling like, I'm in the big leagues. Oh, that was a wiffle ball. And Sammy, it wasn't Rodney, but how do you feel?
I think I'm reconsidering what Cecilia said last night. Cecilia had made a comment about how the town isn't safe, how Haven is not a safe place. And what I took her to mean is that it's not safe for us. And sometimes in order to keep it safe for us, we have to make it not safe for other people. But maybe she was legitimately saying it's not a safe place. Just like stuff happens. And like she was being more sincere than I thought.
Nice. So yeah, the cops are going to question people. I don't think it'd be interesting to question you all separately. It just seems like it'd just be a bit of back and forth. But I'm just going to ask, like, Cecilia, do you say anything about last night, Rodney's thing, or anything about the school?
No, I say that. I mean, I tell them that as far as I know, nobody from the carnival went into town last night. But of course, I don't watch everyone that closely. If somebody had gone to the ice cream shop or something, that would have been perfectly ordinary. So I'm just not very helpful.
Gotcha. Sammy, are you helpful?
No. I think if anything, I'm like kind of a problem. I don't tell them anything, but I'm scared of cops. I think like living on the run has not made me feel good about the police. And so like I don't tell them anything, but I'm clearly nervous, palm sweating. Like I think if I were them, I would think. I mean, either we could say if I were them, I would think I'm hiding something, or we can have me roll to keep my cool.
Which would be more exciting for you?
Let's have the roll.
Okay.
Let's have the roll. And like I think the thing I'm afraid of is that they will like have one of the cops will have seen me. I'm not so nervous about Rodney, but like I'm worried one of the cops will have seen me and will maybe like I'm a runaway, right? Will maybe like
Mm-hmm.
connect me back to my family, to somewhere else. Um, that was the wrong tab. And I'm also very bad at keeping my cool. That is a 5.
Ooh. Let me...
Getting some nice advancement points though.
Yeah. I think you let fly a piece of information you did not that is not out to the public yet. That's like you you mentioned that the like something about the car,
Right.
like the boot went through the car. It's like I know I don't know anything about the car, like any car houses that got messed up, and it's like they had not mentioned that a car got messed up, just some houses.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at you a bit suspiciously. And oh, I think they need to take your fingerprints.
Oh God, I'm like petrified. I really, really do not want them to take my fingerprints. Um, how literally do we want to take the runaway move?
I'm fine with you wanting to use it to see if you can like get intervention.
Yeah, I think like what I want, like I'm not gonna, I'm not ready for this game to be about Sammy like hiding around Haven, right? Like and having to be out of the carnival. I don't think that's what this.
Oh, I'm saying like, let me
Oh, yeah.
clarify my hard move if you like. Like they're going to take your fingerprints. They're going to have them on file. They won't run them,
Okay,
but like it's just sort of like it's a hanging like a Chekhov's gun kind of thing.
got it. Right. All right. So yeah. So I think I like I sort of like shakingly hold out my hand, for them, or are they going to take, like, how does this work? Are they going to take me to the department?
I think like you start like they realize they should have started taking fingerprints earlier,
Mhm.
and like some people have left, and like that's when you realize how sort of like maybe Cecilia's words are ringing true,
Mhm.
because you see like one of the cops is like, we should take fingerprints, like, but oh, let's go round up the other people, and the other one's just sort of like, that's work, and like only a handful of you get fingerprinted.
Got it. Okay.
But it's like it is very worrying, but maybe not as worrying as it should have been in the beginning because of how they're
Right. And I mean,
acting.
I'm still like very worried, and like this is something I'm going to be afraid of going
Yeah.
forward. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And I think I observe this, and after he's away from the cops, I come up to him and, just looking very concerned, I say, "Listen, if you need to, if you're worried about this, if you need to get out of town, we can help."
I'm like, well, like I don't know. Like, I think I'm realizing. I think something I'm also starting to realize is like I have this very vague fear of being on the cops' radar, but like I'm also kind of realizing after that moment of panic is that like I'm probably not in a database anywhere yet, right? And it's like
Yeah.
okay, now they've got something on me, but like they're not going to be able to send me home because of this yet. Like it's not, and like I'm
Yeah.
starting to like
Yeah.
calm down. It's like I'm like,
Yeah. And I think I assume from how nervous you are that you do have a record. And I say, I mean, if you've got a record or anything, and maybe that makes you realize that they can't really do anything with these fingerprints, and maybe you calm down a little bit.
right. Like I've been like rousted from sleeping on stoops and like things like that, but I don't have any like arrests that would have warranted this yet. So I'm like, yeah. I think it's not
So
great, but
nobody has ever actually taken your fingerprints before, have
right.
they?
No.
Right.
Thanks,
Right.
Cecilia.
Right.
I feel a little bit better. It's still scary, but thank you. I feel a little better.
Yeah. And Rodney, you don't say it. What do you say when the cops question you?
So they asked what I was doing last night, and I immediately launch into a very blue story. And I'm like, so there were these acrobats, Veronica and Charlie, and we were trying to do number 17, the spread eagle, and like I just start like going on with like a
You've all
lot
heard of the spread eagle. Have you heard of the Norse vulture?
yeah, and so like that's what I do. They're like, and sir, where were you last night? And I was like, well,
Someplace you wish you were. Ever been with a gymnast? No. Yeah, they get bored real quickly. And if anyone's fingerprints are on record in the carnival, it would have been Rodney's. And since no one reported a looming Asian man throwing rocks through windows, they're not looking for you. You're a pretty easy target to see. But like the police come, they leave, no one's taken in, no one's arrested, and like after 2 hours, no calls have been made, no, like they haven't returned, so it seems like nothing has been turning up. The carnival starts getting back into the swing of things, and you notice that the ringleader king is kind of like really active, like trying to like really set up the show, and it dawns on you, school's out today. What are the kids going to do during the day? And the carnival is one of the few attractions here. So it is going to be quite busy. Do you want to do like scenes of like maybe acts that you guys do in front of the people, interacting with other people in Haven, or if you want to like have more of another scene that just came to me is maybe Mother Tribute sends you guys out to get supplies for the carnival, since it's going to be a busy day, like kerosene for the fire breathers, uh, different kind of things, like a new sword for Vikram if we can find it, kind of things like that.
I kind of like the idea of doing like a scene strolling, or like a street strolling scene where we're like like barking for the carnival, and then also, you know, going to get these errands and things like that. It'd be a good way to interact with like some of those local characters that we made.
Yes.
Yeah, I also like the idea of like that's something, Sammy, and I'm good at. Like that's the thing not good at, but it's the thing I could do to help the carnival. I think I'm like interested in tracking down like some oil or something to help treat Vikram's sword.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think Cecilia is like she's sort of like a wandering troubleshooter. She just moves around the carnival, making sure that everything is running smoothly and dealing with any problems. And
Yeah, so you got. I think Mother King is more worried about getting the teenagers to the carnival, since they are free, and like hands out the flyers to put up, you know.
right.
And it's like you guys are traveling around town, like, you know, put up a flyer here, put up a flyer,
Right.
and there is a list of different things that the carnival needs, but I believe you guys are going down one of the one of the touristy trap places that have the different kind of, again, like sort of hipster eccentric stores, but there. I think Sammy has like used a GPS magic, for lack of better words, to like find a place that may have the oil that Vikram needs in town, and you guys are, I think, heading to the Cozy Collector thrift store. And this is sort of like a goodwill of antiques. Like, so, a lot of them are donated. A lot of touristy, like when the tourist trade was really big, people would come and trade kind of things. But it's kind of like grandma chic. Like, you know, older people come here. Crazy cat ladies come here. People into vinyl come here. It's not a mainstay, and it wouldn't be that odd of a day, except a certain Jackson is perusing the vinyl records as you guys enter. And the store has, I think Jackson is there. There are a few other locals and maybe a tourist or two. But you guys walk in, and I want to, Rodney, do you know enough about Jackson to know his musical habits, or does this shock you to see him in like the least cool place in Haven?
I know that he loves to get like old metal on vinyl if he can find it, so this is not super surprising.
Yeah, and I think like people are looking askance. Jackson, if I can sort of, like, from the way you just described him to me, kind of has the rough edge appeal, like maybe a leather jacket, maybe some band buttons, maybe a hairstyle that's not male typical. And he's he's like looking pale, you know, Dolly Parton, no. ABBA, no. Milli Vanilli, no. And finds this weird like metal, like this album that just says like Blued Hag on it. It's like, never heard of them. But like all these people are giving him like odd looks, and you can hear some whisperings about the school catching fire. What do you do, Rodney?
So as we walk in and I kind of see Jackson, it's that thing where like I stop really suddenly and I like don't make like no one behind me realizes I stopped. So I'm assuming that whoever is right behind me just like walks right into my back.
Does that happen, either Cecilia or Sammy?
Yeah, it's like bumping into like a brick wall. There's like no give.
Or how Stephanie Meyer described Edward. But anyway, yeah, you bump in. Jackson's looking at the record and puts it under his arm, and keeps going. And there's this. I think the woman who runs the store, this sort of middle-aged, like retired Stepford wife. She was like the high school queen back in the day, and then got married out of high school and sort of just stayed in Haven. And she looks over at you guys, knows you're from the circus, and just sort of, I'm not going to put a flyer in the window.
And I think Cecilia walks up. Cecilia walks up to her and she says, "Oh, please. It would mean so much to us."
I do not advertise for other people. If you want to put up your flyers, there's a Starbucks just around the corner, next to another Starbucks.
Well, if that's how you feel, of course we will respect your decision. But I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I bet no one comes in here anyway. Like, who would this even bring to the carnival? Come on, I bet there's better places to go.
And I kind of slide in at that point, like kind of like put my hand on my chin, and you just see like bicep for days. And I'm like, now, let's not be so hasty. I think that the lovely lady just needs to be convinced a little bit. And I looked at her and I'm like, Miss, I'm sure that, one little flyer in your window would certainly not pose any kind of a problem, would it?
Oh, are you trying to shut this woman down?
No, I'm trying to turn her on. It's like, I got bicep, I got like...
Oh, dear God. You bastard, go for it.
It's a 9.
She does not want to lose her air of sophistication. She will give you a string.
Oh my God. I just...
I'll just call her Shopkeep for now.
Shopkeep. And I just feel... Yeah. So I assume she probably says something to the, it's like, oh, I can't bend the rules or something like that.
It's like, rules are rules.
And I'm like, well, sometimes rules are made to be broken, but I understand. And I wink at her and I just like, kind of like slide away and I go peruse the vinyls.
Yeah. And I just catch her eye and I smirk.
And you can see that she does not catch the smirk. Like she sees your mouth like move out of the smirk as she was watching Rodney leave, and then she realizes you're still there. It's like, oh, I suppose if you wanted to pay for a frame, I could put it up in the store.
Oh no! I can see you have other things on your mind.
And as you say that, this like older woman comes up and like puts off this like basket full of yarn, and I'm like, okay, just if you're not, don't put up your flyers. Get out when you're done. Don't take anything. And I think like we'll cut over to Rodney sneaking up to the vinyl. And does Jackson notice you?
I mean, I'm like 6'4" and like 2 feet wide, so like
Yeah. I think like your shadow comes over him. It's like, hey man, I can't see the records. Man, man.
and I'm like, dude, and like we like almost chest bump, but then remember where we are, and we're like handshake.
Like handshake, it brings you into a bro hug, but instead of doing like the straight man back slap, he like actually just hugs you. But you have to have the fist in front of the heart, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, most of the records here suck as usual.
I like put down the ABBA record that I was just looking at. I'm like, yeah, definitely.
And he pulls out like the Blue Hag album. It's like, I've never heard of this band. They have songs like Jane Eyre, and I understand who Shakespeare is, but is this the guy Socrates from that Bill and Ted movie?
Just like kind of like, because I mean, like Rodney's not dumb, and so like he hears this happening, and he's just like, oh my god, no. And then it's just like, yeah, that guy was in that movie. That was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's weird. Most metalheads don't sing about this stuff. And just out of character, Blood Hag is a librarians who turned to death metal band, and they sing it. They throw novels at their audiences instead of mosh pits. But anyway, and he's like, but it looks really rare in this kick-ass cover. I mean, it's better than the Milli Vanilli record. Who would have put them on vinyl?
It was a dark time. That's all there was to it.
And he nods and is like, have you heard about what happened last night?
And then that's where like Rodney kind of like gets a little he like he almost smiles because he was proud of what he did, but then he was like changes his face. He's like, oh yeah, that was really rough. That was yeah, I'm real glad I was playing Yahtzee back at the carnival.
That's a new euphemism.
Yeah, I played a lot of Yahtzee last night.
And he like looks you up and down. It's like, I bet you did. I really bet you did. And like, luckily, last night I was taking care of my cat, but apparently everyone in Serpent's Way is a suspect because we're going to walk, miles out of our way to set fire to the school.
I was like, what? You mean they're like investigating y'all? That's not right. Like, why would they do that?
Because the people whose houses got broken into are broken, or got their houses broken, are saying that it's likely one of us lower class reprobates.
And that's the point where like Rodney like feels actually like kind of guilty because it was never his intention to throw someone like Jackson under the bus for what he did.
Luckily, they believed me. I mean, I had nowhere to go last night. The bar was shut down for renovations, which are done, thankfully. Dude, the bar is open again tonight. We've got to go.
Dude, yes, first round's on me. I just got paid, and he like pulls out like his like a wad of cash that like starts to tumble to the ground. He's like, "Damn it!" Like, oh, and he like he's like, I can't find my money clip anywhere.
Dude, that sucks. Do you like Does Jackson know how serious it is to you? What the money clip meant?
I'm sure that like drunkenly one night at a bar, I was just like, "You see this? This was the first thing I bought with my own money," and yeah, like, and so he's aware that it's very sentimental to me.
Yeah. So his eyes get wide. Like, did someone take it from you?
And I scoop up like the like tens and 20s that I dropped on the ground, and I'm just like folding them and shoving them back in my pocket. And something. I'm like, I can't think of anything else. I would not have lost it, you know. But at the same time, it's like, what does that mean that somebody at the carnival lifted it? I don't want to think that of, well, most of them.
Yeah, but I don't think you guys are tight. Some of those kids, some of the tourists, they like to sneak around, pretend they're badasses, come to some town and live out a dark fantasy. Maybe, I mean, they take the money that was with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the weird thing is like some of it was still there, but like not all of it. It was really weird, man.
Takes away my theory. But no, dude. If this happened to you, first round's on me.
Right.
Yeah, and what does Sammy overhear this?
Oh, Sammy is listening very, very closely as they finger the money clip in their pocket. And I think Sammy has been feeling a little bad about taking it, and this makes them feel worse. Makes me feel worse. But this interaction between Rodney and Jackson is also reminding me of why I took the money clip in the first place. Of that sort of like, yeah, I was like a little bit pulled into the events last night, but I need to remember that I'm still not sure I'm really part of this carnival. And Rodney, when I first got there, made it kind of clear that I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like watching Rodney interact with Jackson is sort of like bringing some of that stuff back.
Yeah. Okay, and I think there's going to be one. You've kept your cool a lot, so
Failed to keep my cool a lot.
Yeah, you failed to keep it. So I think we're going to have to push your luck one more time to see if you can find that sword polish Fikram needs.
Yeah, that's fine. That's going to be a keep your cool.
Yes.
Okay.
To not flip out while you're searching the shelves as they talk about the money clip.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. I think like this is not like something specific that I'm afraid of really, but it's just kind of like they're talking about this thing I took and I've got it on me, and like it's just general anxiety is like.
Yeah, I think this is less like what are you afraid of, and like more like what complication will happen if you like get a 7 to 9. Like, will it be too pricey? Well, whatever.
Got it. That is another 5. That's a 4. I'm gonna advance on these keep your cool rolls.
I would say there was this game I played where we called the roll for your party the Undead Boy Failure Club because the vampire and myself as the ghoul could not get a success for just one game.
I mean, to be fair, I'm very bad at keeping my cool. I've got a -1.
Yeah.
Like some of these would have been successes without it.
I'm going to be nice with this one because you have failed so many tonight.
I'm happy to whatever makes the game more interesting.
Oh no, it's going to be interesting. But you do find the sword polish needs, and it's the last case. Not the last case in Haven, not the last case in Massachusetts. The last case that was made before the company went under.
Okay. That's exciting.
And I think you just don't have enough money on you for it. you're going to have to bum from Rodney or Cecilia.
Yeah, so I head over to Cecilia, and I say, listen, Cecilia, I got this, oh no, you know what, here's what's better. Here's what's better. I actually go up to Rodney, and I say, Rodney, I heard you and your friend talking before, and yeah, so when we were the other day when I was like wheeling the the shit out from the carnival, out like out back in that corner of the woods with all the compost and stuff, I found this, and I pull out the money clip. And I say, like, I don't know. I mean, you said maybe some kid stole it or something. Maybe they just wanted the money and they tossed this clip into the woods or whatever. But is this what you were talking about?
So I'm gonna roll one dice and I'm gonna see if Rodney like believes you sincerely or if he doubts you, and I'm just gonna let the dice decide that.
I love it. I love it.
He's gonna doubt you. So
okay. Well, either way, what I'm intending to do with this mechanically is spend the string to get you to do something I want.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is help me pay for the sword polish.
That's it. So you see like a couple of different things flash in Rodney's eyes before he just kind of like puts on this like big smile and he like snatches the money clip out of your hand and he like gives you a big old like bear hug and like just like pats you like real hard on the back and is like, oh my god, that's amazing. I owe you so big, dude. Thank you so much for giving this back to me.
Like,
and
don't worry, you don't owe me that much. If you could just like help me out with a couple bucks. I told Vikram that I would try to polish his that
yeah, like
you can see me like getting kind of red as I'm saying it. Like he has a sword that's rusted and he wants me to I said I'd try to fix it for him. And I need the sword polish, but I don't have quite enough cash. I'll even pay you back. I just if it's your money clip.
Yeah, so like Rodney like chuckles and he's like, yeah, sure, you can take this, and then how's about you pick up dinner for me sometime, take me out, show me a nice time.
Sure. We'll talk about that, and yeah.
And Jackson nudges Rodney. He's like, "Oh, you are so sly. Is this your squeeze?"
I mean, like, and I give Sammy like the cash, like more cash than they need, and like turn around and like wrap my arm around Jackson's shoulder, and I'm just like, oh no, that's just some new loser who thinks they were gonna run away and join the circus. We'll see if they stick around. And then we just like walk away.
Walk off dejectedly to buy the sword polish.
Oh Lord, and yeah, I think it's Cecilia. Is there anything you want to do in this scene?
No, but I think I want to track down bump into Betsy Harker at some point.
Okay, that was what I was hoping you would say. And I think you guys are taking a break, like maybe getting some drinks, and Cecilia is sitting outside at a table, like one of those like, outside patio tables. And Betsy is walking with several of her high school buddies, this gaggle of sycophants trailing on her words. They're out of school, of course, and she. Do you want her to say the first line, or do you want to grab her attention?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think our eyes sort of lock on each other, and then I just turn away.
And oh, go ahead.
No, no, it's like it's like I look ashamed.
Yeah, and Betsy, you hear this sort of shrill cackle that you remember too much from when you lived with her. It's just, oh, Raggedy Ann running from her duties. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at the freak show?
Oh, and I get up and I walk over to her, and I'm like, the carnival is my family. Do you understand family, Betsy? Do you understand what it's like to belong? Have you ever really understood what it's like to be different and to find a place where you belong?
And she laughs like, you got one thing right. You're different, and you're not my family anymore.
And I heard there was some trouble last night with some of your high school friends. They trashed the school, they trashed your neighborhood. It sounds like the worst freaks aren't the ones I'm living with.
Oh, are you shutting her down?
Yeah, I think I am.
And don't forget to take one forward from Snatcher.
Right. And yes. Okay, that's a 9.
You are in front of witnesses. I think that it
Yeah.
triggers lightning talent. So that is a 10.
Oh yes, it does. That is a 10.
So you get to
Boy.
take away one intangible and choose one from the list.
Yeah, what would be a good intangible
Oh,
I mean,
her standing in town.
yeah. Yeah, it's like it's like were you was it your friends who did all this? And you can see the people around her are like they're like connecting the dots.
And I think there's also like this, like there's this murmuring that did she really just like say her cousin is no longer her family after they know you ran away from home, like that you ran away to her house, like they just kicked you out. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
But what do you choose from the shutdown list?
What are the options?
You can gain a string on her. You can give her a condition, or you can take +1 forward on whatever your next roll is.
I think I'll take a string on her.
Understood. So yeah, and when I fill her in, I'll make a note that she is losing the respect of the town. But yeah, I think like she's shocked, and she hears the rumblings from behind her. It's like, my friends had nothing to do with this. They wouldn't do that to my house. And like you notice she didn't say anything about the school.
Oh, are you sure? Popularity can be so fleeting. Maybe you aren't the queen bee anymore, Betsy.
Why don't you learn how to contort yourself so you can get your head up your ass?
Oh, sweetie. If I could contort myself, I would have so much better things to do with that talent. Maybe if you're lucky, someday you'll find out.
Yeah, like, like many of her friends are dispersing because she's not winning this verbal battle at all. And like this is sad to watch now. Is just her flailing against Cecilia and like I think she turns on her heel and huffs off just as Rodney and Sammy come out with the food and drinks.
Yeah, and it's like I'm sort of nod coolly, and I walk back. Rejoin my friends.
Yeah. Uh, do you seem flustered at all, Cecilia?
No. I think I've regained my cool. I mean, I was a little flustered when I first saw her, but I mean, I definitely gained the upper hand there, and I'm feeling in control of the situation.
Yeah, and is there anything anyone else wants to like bring up, talk about? I think that with Betsy walking off, I think the camera pans into Cecilia's eyes, and like there's this like burning, like fiery passion in them, and she gives this like wicked smile as she brings the Coke closer to her. We have the product placement shot as she sips it, and the credits begin rolling for the episode. Okay. Thank you all who have watched or will watch. I'm going to stop the broadcast now and we will do some debrief.